This is Swiss and Chips, your British guide to Switzerland. Hello, welcome to the programme. I'm Jo.
And I'm Simon.
And today we're talking about the art of the Swiss apéro. There's something very Swiss and very particular about this whole apéro thing. And hopefully you know what I'm talking about.
And there you go. I didn't know that it's special in Switzerland until we started this podcast. So I thought that's everywhere in the world. It's completely normal that everyone knows it. And I assume it's somewhere from France based on the word, but I know that they're doing it there as well. But it's typically Swiss, it seems.
Yeah, and particularly I think for the many, many occasions it can be applied to. But we'll come to that a little bit later. We're going to talk about what it is exactly, when you have one, what kind of food will be there, what kind of drinks will be there, how you organise your own, and most importantly in Switzerland, as always, how exactly do you need to behave on that occasion?
Yeah, there is no real rule, but sure, let's go through it.
All right, so you're the expert on this today. What exactly is a Swiss apéro? Tell us.
Well, a Swiss apéro is basically you have people around, there are drinks, food, you talk to each other, and that's it.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, that's all really.
Okay, so what kind of food? Because I imagine that could be a minefield if you're setting one up yourself. You might not know, are we talking like a old packet of crackers or do I need to hire caterers?
It's the same here. There is no real rule. You can have, I think the very classic thing to do is like cold cut meat and cheese and maybe some finger food is already a little bit more exotic. If you have like a sushi or something, that would be a bit more exotic. But classic would be cold cut meat and cheese, and that's it really. But it can go from that little to everything else.
I think there's one ingredient that's always found at Swiss apéros.
Tell me.
It's orange. Or they're orange, I should say.
Orange? What would that be?
Paprika crisps.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, crisps, obviously. Crisps can't be, shouldn't be missing. And then usually it's Zweifel crisps. I think we talked about that in another episode already. It's very classic. Zweifel crisps, flavored natur or
paprika.
Yeah.
It's basically not a Swiss apéro if you don't have Zweifel crisps, I think.
Yes and no. Like I said, there are no real rules, but that's most of the times you find something like that, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on from food to drinks. Yes. What kind of drinks should you have? And does it vary depending on the time of day?
It can vary from the occasion as well. So if you have an apéro, maybe I should explain a little bit more about when you can have an apéro and what for.
Yes,
so apéros you could have, like, for example, these you meet friends or you meet people, and that can be, for example, before you have dinner. So you have an apéro first.
Yeah, I love that idea.
You invite maybe 3 people to your house, and then you say, let's have an apéro first. You stand around a little bit and you talk to each other. You have a drink and you have some snacks. And then you probably would serve, and then it's very classic, is always something alcoholic and always something non-alcoholic in the evening. Mm-hmm. But if you have some friends over, maybe at like lunchtime, you might have it without alcohol. So it really depends on the people, the friends, and who it is. So you can have that with friends. You can have it for before you, if you got married, for example, or if you have how do you say, give the children a name?
A christening?
Yes. So after that, for example, you have an apéro, then you would obviously also have, like I said, non-alcoholic. If you had your wedding, you might make an apéro for everyone who came, like 20, 30, 40 people. And then you say, we only go and have food with the close friends because it's a bit more expensive. So you would have an apéro first, everyone is invited. Or you could have an apéro at the funeral. If the funeral is over, you invite everyone and for food and drinks. You can have an apéro at work. If you, for example, someone new starts, then you go and get some crisps and some beer and some water, and then you have an apéro. Or if someone leaves, at work.
It's basically one size fits all celebration,
so
isn't it?
It's like it's a meeting of people which is more informal, but can happen on formal occasions as well. So then, yes, depends on the occasion and the day and the date, the time you would have alcoholic drinks or non-alcoholic. So on a Saturday evening, you would have alcoholic drinks always.
Yeah.
Most of the times, I guess. But if it's a children's party and you say, let's do an apero before or something, then you might not have alcohol.
Then you definitely have vodka, right?
Yeah. Well, I didn't mean the children have apero, the parents.
Just kidding. They need it.
Right.
Good.
So apero basic, or another example. If you are at home and you're standing outside on your balcony and then some friends walk by and you say, hey, want to come up for an apero? So that's really it just means come for a drink and some snacks.
Yeah.
That's all.
Nice.
So it can be very formal, doesn't need to be very formal.
Yeah. Grand. So obviously if someone is just passing by and it's, very impromptu, then it's clear how it's organized.
Yes.
But otherwise, how are you going about organizing it? WhatsApp, email, paper invitations, pigeon mail?
It's really funny because it really doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter depending on the occasion. So if it's a wedding, you might not say, hey, you people walking by, don't want to come. Or, you might invite them with, paper invitation.
Yeah.
But if you meet some friends, you write on WhatsApp. If it's at work, you write an email. So it's really depends on the occasion. I think an apero is used for everything and doesn't, need to be thought as an apero must happen like this. It should more be thought of meet people with drinks and snacks, and then how would you organize it?
Okay, and this is the part where it gets more tricky for those of us who weren't born here or haven't lived here for 25 years.
Right.
I fall into that category. What do you do when you get there? Do you need to bring something? What do you do when you are there? What are the kind of rules of engagement of this situation?
Okay. Well, also here, depending on the situation, if it's a wedding, you might bring something, a present. But no, let's try to talk a bit about a more classic and maybe a little bit a more formal apero.
Yeah.
In case you get an official invitation for an apero, a very formal invitation to like some kind of work thing or from a bank or whatever. So it's a bit more a formal thing, and then obviously you wouldn't bring anything. If you meet your friends, you might bring something. For the formal thing, the rules are slightly different because then you might dress a little bit different, and it will be different because you don't know everyone who will be there. And then the drinks will also have a wider variety. So there will be water, sparkling water, orange juice, wine, and beer, for example. That's very classic. And food-wise will be cold cut meat and cheese, and there might be like some little bread or little
pastries being passed around by someone.
Something like this.
Mm-hmm. Nice. And then when you get there, then are you kind of, as far as I have managed to decipher over these past 11 years, when you're arriving at a formal apero, you're getting a drink once you arrive, probably handed to you by someone.
Yes.
And then you're sort of looking for someone to go and say hello to, walking over, hello, clinking glasses of everyone, introducing yourself. And in non-corona times, obviously shaking hands.
Exactly. I mean, we had also an episode about shaking hands, by the way. So when to shake hands and when not. We'll also link this in the show notes. There are many episodes in that we made about this already. Mm-hmm. I think in a formal situation, it's how you say. Usually there is someone who gives you the drink, and you can take the food for yourself, and then you go and see if you know anyone, and then you stand there, or you stand somewhere in the corner on a little table and you wait till someone comes. So that's the official part. If you're somewhere with friends and you know everyone, then it's clear, you just talk to everyone. If you are with some people you know and you don't know, I think the normal thing to do when there's 5 to 20 people, you go in and you greet everyone. So you go by everyone, say like, hi, I'm Joe. How are you doing? Go to the next one.
Gotcha. Okay.
And with friends, you don't need to be surprised if there are like a group of 20 people and people come in and say hi and give kisses or shake hands with like every 20 people.
Yeah. We should say at this point, if you've been listening to our previous episodes, we had a baby this year, and she's obviously with us while we're recording, so you may hear some extremely cute noises from her throughout the episode. One last question I want to ask about the apero, because this comes up whenever you organise one. People say, what can I bring?
Yes.
And the other person says, you don't need to bring anything. I had this very discussion yesterday with someone, and she said, I'm going to bring something anyway, so you might as well just tell me what you want me to bring. People say don't, but you do anyway. It's totally true.
Yeah, yes and no, it
do
depends. You can do it or you can't. I mean, there are people who will always bring something. There are people who wouldn't. If I'm invited to someone I know and they say like, you really don't need to bring anything, then you bring maybe a little present.
That's
or a present for the children or something.
Yes.
But I wouldn't then bring food or drinks because usually they have already enough food and drinks then, and then if you bring more, it doesn't really help.
Gotcha. Especially if you're not very good at making things and they're a master chef.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Good.
I forgot to say, if this greeting happens, top tip is either be early so people come to greet you.
Yes.
Otherwise, you will have to go around and greet everyone. And don't be surprised if you're leaving, same thing happens again. So you will have to go and say to everyone, goodbye, 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 goodbye. Or you can do like the French goodbye. I'm not sure if that's okay. You can't say that in English. A French kind of leaving. Well, you can't say that, I guess.
What is it though? I need to know now.
I really hope it's politically correct. Anyway, it's like leaving without saying anyone goodbye. You just stand up and say like, right, bye everyone, and then you leave. And or you just even leave without, you just tell your people that you're talking to and then you leave.
I think I've been doing the French goodbye.
Yeah, you can do that.
Shouting loudly, bye everyone.
The thing with that thing is like everyone would want to do it, but everyone knows it's a bit, then people might not like it. But if people do it, then everyone is like, oh, that's great, she did it, so I should do it as well.
Okay, cool. You've made me feel better. I'm going to keep doing that. Good. All right, cool. So we're sorted. We're ready for our apero.
Yes.
So we introduced a new section to each episode of our podcast.
And a new jingle.
Yes,
we absolutely love it.
We hope you like it too. And
doesn't matter.
Yeah, we love it. Loads of listeners to our podcast are really keen on trying to learn Swiss German, and God knows it's difficult enough. So in every episode, we're introducing you to a new word. And this episode, it is...
Langsam gehen.
Is that one word or is it more of a phrase?
It's 2 words.
Okay, cool. Well, I like it.
Yeah.
And this is something that could come in useful when you're at an apero with someone else.
Yes, you can langsam gehen.
Exactly.
That means just slowly leaving.
Yeah, it means
slowly
like
going, slowly getting into the going zone.
Yeah, I think what you would say in English is, shall we sort of make a move soon?
Yes, exactly.
Shall we start making a move?
Yes, so you will hear that here and there. That someone says, so we langsam gehen.
It doesn't mean get up and walk in slow motion.
No, it's just slowly prepare to leave.
Yeah, sort of politely, I'd quite like to go, but there's no rush.
One thing learned.
Yeah, make use of it at your next apero.
Yes, I'll think about something for next time.
Cool, all right, so thanks for listening.
And don't forget to join our Facebook group, which is called Switzerland for English Speakers. Find everything about the episode on our website, which is called swissandchips.com. And thanks a lot for listening. Bye.
Bye.